Hey guys, welcome back. And in this video we're going to talk about Shigeru Miyamoto's recent comments concerning the Nintendo Switch and Star Fox. Now, I believe this is the first time that Miyamoto has commented publicly on the Switch in an interview. Glixel did an interview with him talking about various different things, talking about Mario, how Minecraft was actually something Nintendo had an idea for a long time ago on the N64, and about the Switch a little bit as well, and Super Mario Run on iOS. But he has some interesting things he said about his possible retirement and actually what the process was for the Switch. And he says that there was a misunderstanding around my supposed retirement. Really, at the time, what we were talking about was giving more opportunity and more leadership opportunity to younger people in the company. So rather than me leading everything, we were really expanding that role out to others that had come up within the company. Somehow that got misinterpreted as the fact that I was retiring. Then he goes on to say, we have these younger people in the company who are taking the lead on Switch. Then he went on to say, we have these younger people in the company who are taking the lead on Switch development, and it's really been them that have put this forward and designed this system. They're the ones that have really shepherded it through the process. Because of that, what it's allowed me to do is focus on other projects like Super Mario Run or the Universal theme park. I'm going to keep looking for these kinds of opportunities where I can do something new and fun. So he says it right there that he has basically nothing to do with the Nintendo Switch and how it was made, how it was designed. Obviously, he's not saying anything about any type of games that he's working on for the Nintendo Switch at this point, since his main focus is being Super Mario Run and the Universal theme parks. So basically, he's giving all the credit to other people who designed the Switch, this younger generation, what he calls it. So it's kind of funny to me, actually. If the Switch fails for some reason, he can always say, hey, it wasn't me, it was these younger guys. But of course, if it takes off and it's successful, we will hear a lot of praise from Miyamoto for these younger developers who have taken the lead on the Switch process. But I do really want to see what Miyamoto can do that's new with the Switch, of course, and I'm sure all you guys want to as well. So moving on from that, I wanted to discuss a little bit about his comments about Star Fox. In an interview recently by Katie Linendahl, I'll link the video in the description, but she asked him basically what franchise that he would like to see would be more popular or more successful. And he said that he wished that Fox McCloud was more popular than what he is, and of course Pikmin also. And then he wanted to say that he would try to put more energy and effort into these franchises in the future, which I think is good news. However, for me personally, I'm extremely disappointed in what has happened to Star Fox over the years, and I'm sure a lot of you fans out there are as well. When Star Fox came out on the Super Nintendo in 1993, it was a revolutionary thing in terms of technology and how graphics were on a 16-bit system. It really pushed 3D graphics forward at the time. This was, 23 years ago. And then Star Fox 64 was like the next generation of Star Fox, and it added all kinds of gameplay innovation to the Star Fox formula. It added all range mode, it added different vehicles, and of course it was pushing those graphics even farther as well on N64. And that was in 4 years, so they had 2 games on home consoles that were made by their dedicated teams in the first 4 years of Star Fox's existence, so 93 to 97. Then after that, what happened to Star Fox? Well, it went down the drain. Like, seriously. And Star Fox and Star Fox 64 sold really well on the Super Nintendo and on the N64. They were not bad sellers at all. They did extremely good. So what happened to Star Fox after that? Well, Nintendo decided to put Star Fox characters in a game called Dinosaur Planet that Rare was making for the N64, and then they transferred it over to the GameCube in 2002. And the game sold pretty good. It sold over 1 million copies, but it wasn't a traditional Star Fox game, and a lot of fans expressed their disappointment in that. And in the meantime, there was still no traditional Star Fox game, and that was in 2002, 5 years after Star Fox 64 came out. Then they released Star Fox Assault in 2005 on the Nintendo GameCube, but that wasn't made by Nintendo, actually. That was developed by Namco and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. So you saw a very big difference in how the game looked and how it felt and everything. It wasn't the same kind of Star Fox that we came to know and love. It was a good overall game, but it wasn't the kind of Star Fox we were looking forward to, and it wasn't anywhere near as good as Star Fox 64 either, and that was back in 2005. Then in 2006, Nintendo released Star Fox Command for the Nintendo DS, and that was also developed by one of Nintendo's side teams. It was a tactical strategy-based shooter basically, and it wasn't a Star Fox game, really. Had a good story, and it was furthering the way the storytelling was going with Star Fox and the universe that he was in, but it wasn't a traditional Star Fox game, and it was moderately successful, mainly because the Nintendo DS was the biggest selling console in history, so that really helped the sales of Star Fox Command. But the game itself was not a traditional Star Fox game at all. So then we fast forward to April 2016, 10 years later, and we finally get a brand new game in the Star Fox series for the Nintendo Wii U. First dedicated home console Star Fox game since 2005's Star Fox Assault. And what do we get? Do we get a fully new, innovative, new take on Star Fox? No. We basically get Star Fox 64 with gamepad force controls that obligate the player to look at two screens basically at the same time, which is impossible, and it creates all kinds of confusion that take place during the game. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying it a lot. It's not really how that is, but you get the point. The game required you to look at both screens and take your attention away off the main screen a lot of the time, and the aiming was motion control based, and the game had a lot of issues in development getting all those controls tight and aligned for release. And it was a very divisive game for fans because they just wanted a traditional type of Star Fox game that they could enjoy, and they didn't get it after over 10 years of waiting for a traditional Star Fox game. Now, don't get me wrong, there is fun to be had with Star Fox Zero. It's not a terrible game, but for Nintendo to force that control scheme on everyone that plays the game because they just had to get that gimmick for the gamepad to work was a complete mistake and disaster by Nintendo to do to one of their beloved franchises in Star Fox, in my opinion. Miyamoto loves Star Fox, he created it. I think he could have done a much better job in making sure that that game wasn't the game that was used to test out this gamepad functionality, having two views trying to work in an on-rail shooter. I think the judgment call there was really questionable, and he could have used another game to test that example, and then implement something else for Star Fox Zero. Not only that, but releasing this game so late in the Wii U's lifespan, when the system barely has any games coming out and everyone knows the next system is coming in the next year or so, really doesn't help Star Fox at all, and the game was destined to fail basically right out of the gate, no matter which way you look at it. I mean, the game was released late, all kinds of problems with people not liking the controls, you name it, it happened. So I'm just going to say it, Miyamoto, Nintendo, it's your fault that Star Fox is not as popular as it should be, because guess what? You have abandoned this franchise for the last 10 plus years on home consoles, and even longer than that if you include the games being made by Nintendo. You've abandoned this franchise since 1997, so that's 19 years of Nintendo themselves not making a game for a home console in the Star Fox series. You have nobody to blame but yourself for Star Fox not being more popular. If you pushed Star Fox and made an innovative experience and forwarded the series, added more story elements into it, added more innovation to the gameplay, you know, who knows, the sky's the limit with Star Fox. You have the whole universe, right, to explore. You can do all kinds of things with that character. You could really delve deep into the Star Fox universe a lot farther than what they have been doing. And Star Fox, the way they've been telling the stories, it's not a game like Zelda where they keep redoing the story from a different timeline. This is basically a character that you could have a continuing story arc with, which is what they were doing with Star Fox Command and a little bit with Star Fox Assault, and they could have kept doing that with this game, but instead they decided to retell the entire story from the beginning, and we already had that with Star Fox 64 and the original Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. They had a lot of gimmicky things that Nintendo said was brand new, of course, which it was, but were they actually something good for Star Fox? No, they actually were a hindrance against that series, and it actually turned people off further from wanting to go back and play Star Fox because they heard bad things about the controls and frustration abound from reviews. Some people really liked the game when the people that really understood how to play it, and a lot of people didn't like the game at all. So, Nintendo, if you want Star Fox to succeed in the future, make a game that will, 1, innovate Star Fox and move the series forward. 2, make the controls something that are simple and they're easy to pick up, because this is supposed to be a shooter. Shooter's not supposed to be complicated. 3, go back to making Star Fox something that wows your fan base. The original Star Fox was extremely impressive. Star Fox 64 was extremely impressive as far as what they were doing graphically with all the enemies on the screen at the same time, you know, all kinds of explosions, just really, really cool set pieces. And I remember Star Fox 64, that one level where it reminded you of Independence Day, where that big alien saucer ship came in and all the enemy ships came out at the same time. It looked almost exactly like that final battle, Independence Day. I remember playing that and being really wowed by it. Nintendo could do something like that again in the future if they really tried. So if you want Star Fox to be successful, try. Put an effort into it. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, no one's going to buy your game. If you don't put effort in your products, no one's going to care, and no one's going to care about Star Fox. I care about Star Fox. I want a good Star Fox game.
Give it to me.
Alright guys, so that's enough for me about this topic, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Take care.